Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for November 3rd, 2017. We're your hosts, Beastbreaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
Tweet deck, update me with the tweet so I can retweet it. Or did it not go? Did the tweet not go? There it is.
I don't know what.
Don't click on the tweet.
I don't know what you're talking about. I totally pressed that tweet button. I mean, see, it totally went out. Yeah, I forgot to press the tweet button.
Well. Oh, God. By the way, there's a shit ton of releases this week. And by a shit ton, I mean, oh my God, why is so much stuff coming out on consoles on one day? I think it's all on the 17th.
Because video games?
No, 14th, my bad. So, just to go say this at the top of the show, if there's something wrong on the release schedule, yeah, there's a lot of shit to sort through. So, if there's something missing, oh well. And we have two big things to talk about. Fantastic! Because we got Paris Games Week and the Nintendo Direct.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But before we get into news articles this week, Tommy, what have you been playing?
Outside of what I've streamed, which wasn't much this week, and by wasn't much, I mean not really anything.
Mm-hmm.
I tried the Sonic Forces demo.
Mm-hmm.
Why Sega did not one but two stupid things with it's beyond me. The first, which is actually the one that I have the most problems with. 1 minute.
Oh yeah. Because those demos were tailor made to Japan. They weren't supposed to be played by American players or European players or anyone outside of Japan.
Then don't release it. Because, spoiler alert, the Switch is region free.
Well, no one expected anyone to make a Japanese Switch account in order to get access to all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. No one would have thought about that, especially as easy as it is.
Well, I mean, it's not like Sonic Forces has already been leaked.
Oh, but they weren't releasing early copies.
Well, someone does, and I've seen the entire story. I don't know if I'm allowed to spoil anything or not.
You know what? Sure, why not?
Okay, you know how everyone was really excited about Infinite? Like, who is Infinite?
Oh, God.
Guess who Infinite is?
This is going to be good. Wait,
Infinite?
You want me to guess?
Yes.
Okay. Is it Classic Sonic?
No.
They missed their shot. That would have been the way to piss everyone off right there.
Mm-hmm. You want to try again?
Nah. They kind of blew it, in my opinion.
Infinite is, in fact, the stone. Yeah, that stone from Sonic Mania. I derped on the name there for a second. Yeah, Infinite's that gem. And you know all those villains that are showing up to harass the heroes? They're copies made from the gem. Shadow didn't go bad guy. We literally have a cutscene where Shadow beats the shit out of not Shadow. And it's like, that guy was a copy.
Hmm.
Also, we have Silver, but no Blaze for whatever stupid reason. Sonic is presumed dead for part of the beginning of the story because Infinite beat the shit out of him. Don't worry, he was only captured and thrown in prison. Your OC saves him. Actually, he busts himself out, and your OC helps bust him further out.
Oh my. Okay.
What?
I wish I'd took the time to watch the little cutscene that they give you at the end of the demo. I literally just played one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I don't even have to have audio to have possibly spotted a few of those things.
Oh, a few of the things I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, goody.
You know, you said about the past villains are actually copies.
Yes.
There's a little spot in that reel after the minute of demo that shows a Metal Sonic that has the same particle effect as Infinite.
Oh, by the way, all the other characters get to fight an army of the copied villains towards the end of the game.
So here's what I'm grasping from this. They decided to take a good game. And yet again, here we have an instance where they have tried to go farther than they should have. Why couldn't Forces have just been its own thing?
Also, there is no Supersonic at the end of the game.
You know what?
So,
You know what? I'm a combination of proud and disappointed all at once.
but you do have to fight the final boss by swapping between the 3 different characters for different gameplay sections, I believe.
I'm honestly, that's not bad because I'm assuming they're all still controlling just like they would in any other level.
Yes.
There's not any kind of stupid gimmick that goes along with it. It's the same stupid gimmicks that you've been dealing with the entire way.
Yes.
I
mean, the good news is Famitsu gave it a high score, so there's hope. At least on the gameplay end.
I want to say I was in a chat where that exact topic came up, and I can't remember which Sonic game it was, but it was one of the not so good 3D Sonic games that actually got a higher score than Forces did from them. So I don't take that as a valid source of review. After hearing that, I'm like, okay, well, they're not getting my follow on that one. But the reason I say I am both proud and disappointed is they've kind of been getting real stupid on the supersonic gimmick. So I'm glad we don't have that. But at the same time, I kind of wanted to see Super OC.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't get that. We do get Shadow DLC.
Oh my god, DLC. Why?
Yes. Yes, day 1 DLC, mind you.
I'm at a loss of words.
For Shadow, mind you. Because it's episode Shadow.
Yep, at a loss of words.
Mm. By the way, I am trying to look up what Famitsu has scored previous Sonic games.
I figured as much. I saw it in Twitch chat, so I can't guarantee that it was true. But yeah, if it was, yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna look up a Famitsu wiki, and we're just gonna go forward from there.
I legitimately cannot remember which one, but it was one of them that I was like, really?
Okay, I read that for a second. I'm like, no, they didn't. Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog 1991. The original Sonic. And that's part of their top 100 from back in like 2006.
Which makes it even worse because you said 2006 right there, so. Like, yeah, that is the first thing that pops in everyone's head.
It's not Sonic 06. It got a 29.
Good. That game. Well, I don't know. There's actually one game that deserves lower, and that's Boom, but because there is something that we could at least give 06 credit for.
Now I can't find Sonic Heroes. Can't find its score. Fantastic.
Well, I mean, that one wasn't horrible. It was just not good. I know that's not really helping, but
Oh, hang on. I might have found it. It got a 32, so it was lower.
I'm wanting to say
Is it Sonic Unleashed?
I can't remember for sure which one, but I'm wanting to say that's what I saw someone say in the chat, and I was like,
Unleashed is 33. Okay, I'm gonna laugh my ass off if it's one of these two. Because there's no way. Okay, good. 26. All right, not Black Knight.
Surely it's not Secret Rings.
I'm running out of. I'd say I am running out of 3D Sonics. Okay, that doesn't list the Famitsu score. That doesn't tell me anything. Fantastic. I can't find Famitsu's on Secret Rings. Unless I go to Metacritic and dig through there. It might be better if I could just go to Metacritic and just dig through that.
But yeah, like I said, that kind of sucks. Why couldn't they have at least let Forces be separate from Mania? Because you know what that actually does entail too.
What?
Okay, that means that classic Sonic in Forces is Sonic Mania Sonic. Meaning
Well, they keep referring to him.
meaning that this isn't a Generations 2.
Well, yeah, they kept referring to him from like a Sonic from a different dimension.
Mm-hmm. So that actually completely entails that, because in Generations it was a time gap. It was still the same Sonic. I'm just glad they didn't decide to ruin that game while they were at it.
Well, I can't find a Famitsu score for Sonic Boom. And
I almost feel like it wasn't Sonic Boom, or I would have had to have said there's no way.
and I can't find it for Sonic Lost World, so I don't know. They might be full of garbage.
There again, I'm gonna say Twitch chat.
Mhm.
Need I say more?
Somebody might want to double check those Famitsu scores that they're talking about, because I can't find them. I mean, okay, some of these are scoring fairly close to what Sonic Forces has gotten, so it might be that's the standard number for a Sonic game.
So the typical not burning pile of garbage.
Yes. I mean, somebody told Ty it's good, and so Ty's excited. So, at the very least, it should be an interesting stream when Ty gets to it.
Oh, I'm gonna watch when Ty gets to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll tell you right now, my money's going to Odyssey before it goes to Forces. That demo kind of just didn't feel like it. If you're gonna put out a demo, at least let people play the level.
Yeah. Has Ty played the demos?
I don't know.
Mm.
I mean, chances are probably not, because anyone that has paid any bit of attention to the demo probably realizes that this one's garbage. Like, I was one of the few that did the stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the stupidity, and I was like, well, you know what? This is probably going to be the closest I'll get to Forces for a little bit. What the heck? I'll see how bad it is. Get it? Try. Realize how bad it is. It feels like it plays good. Like, to me, it feels like they took the Generations engine and kind of gave it some tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, the Generations engine probably is the best one we've had in a 3D Sonic in quite some time. Like, I'm talking about probably since Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, it isn't a broken pile of crap. So that is good that it at least feels like Generations, but at the same time, I'm like, it does feel too much like it. And then the OC level they threw in there too. The OC plays a little weird. Like, it doesn't feel like the OC should fit in the game kind of deal.
Does it feel like Sonic Boom Sonic should be fitting in his place?
Not really, even with that. Like, the OC character kind of feels like half of Sonic from Sonic Boom kind of deal.
Oh.
Without the Knuckles glitch.
Boo.
I say that, yet watch that be the one character that's broken.
Oh, I can hardly wait. Friggin' your OC becomes the star of the Sonic Forces speedruns.
I can see people all over YouTube saying, you know what, screw Sonic Forces for the card. It's going to be OC Forces. But I don't know. I just don't really care for the way the OC plays. And it kind of sucks that they didn't put a level where you're playing with the OC and modern Sonic. Because it honestly, when we saw gameplay of it, it looked like that would be the style of gameplay that I would probably like the most out of it. And
Yeah,
they didn't have that in the demo, and it's like, really? The one style that actually looks good and you didn't put it in there? What's wrong with it?
yeah, and you get the best fist bump in the world with Sonic Fist Bumps your OC. I mean, like, that's the only reason to play this game, right?
Well, I mean, that and the OST is pretty good for it, so.
Well, Sonic usually has good music.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 3D Sonics usually do have good music. You know what usually they don't have, though? They usually don't have good mechanics. It's one of those, it feels like Sega weighs the wrong things.
I mean, the Werehog wasn't the worst idea they've ever had.
You're exactly right.
No, the motion control nonsense for Black Knight and Secret Rings was probably the worst idea they ever had.
No. No.
Silver?
Arguably, but no. No, we can go worse than that.
Okay. Big?
Well, yeah, but that's kind of a given. No, I'm more main and boom.
Oh, okay. So the entirety of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Sega didn't make that one.
I'll give you that. But here's the thing. Someone at Sega signed off on that.
Right. But Sega didn't make it. They just said yes. There is a difference here.
When you sign off on something, you might as well have made it. Because you're saying, yes, this will pass for our company. Oops. But yeah, I mean, the OC definitely is an issue there. And it really boils down to I don't really feel like it fits. Like that, it's one of these things is not like the other, and that one is clearly not like the other kind of deal.
Well, one of these is definitely not Sonic. That's the problem here.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, we could just take the mech combat from Adventure 2 and plop in here, and it would make about as much sense. It's one of those kind of stark differences, where it's like that really is just completely polar opposite of what the game's kind of getting at, and it's like, okay, here you go, have fun. That's kind of what's got me on that. It's like, when the OC doesn't have any kind of, okay, the OC's controls really kind of revolve around the whip and a slide. Like that's the bulk of the controls.
That sounds
Yeah.
odd.
it's one of those, it feels odd.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really have a homing attack as much as the whip kind of draws you to the enemy, and then it seems like the enemy just dies because of that, because it don't really even feel like you're attacking it. At least with Sonic's homing attack, you feel like you're attacking.
Mm-hmm.
This, it's almost like enemies are just grapple points. And it's like,
Okay.
that don't really feel right.
That just sounds really weird.
Yeah. And it is one of those that I'm like, I see what they're doing here, and I get the OC's not going to be Sonic. But at the same time, shouldn't we at least have a character that, I don't know, maybe feels like he should be here? Because you look, even in Adventure 1, while both Tails and Knuckles have their own unique thing and had their unique thing in the past, they still held the initial jump the same as Sonic. They still had stuff that was similar.
Mm-hmm.
They all could do the spin dash. They all had a basic single jump that acted similar. This OC just completely feels like he's out of the blue kind of deal.
Well, he is introduced into the story out of the blue, so that may be the point.
I don't know. I just don't really care for that point at that. Then.
Yeah, he's just kind of out of nowhere. It's like, hey, here's somebody to replace Sonic since he's dead, or at least to help us. Because, Sonic's apparently dead because Infinite whipped his ass and all the villains killed him.
I've got an issue there too. Infinite's supposed to be the gem from Mania.
Yes.
I'm not going to try to justify why he has a form. I'm going to assume that is simply because of something to do with the wormhole that Sonic, the gem, and Robotnik all got sucked through.
Eggman. That is the short and long of it. Eggman. Eggman's at fault for Eggman. Here's the thing. Like, Infinite is a villain, yes, but Eggman is the one behind everything. Legit this time, and he is the true final boss of the game. Legit this time.
Wait, Infinite's not the final boss?
No.
So,
nope, Eggman
so
is.
you mean that Eggman's finally evolved from being the one that gets betrayed by his creation to the one that actually comes out on top for a change?
Yes, because Infinite's loyal to him. Yeah, like legit, Eggman is the final boss of the game, and he's the one responsible for Infinite's form and all the villain stuff. He's the reason behind all this, and he's the one in control of everything. And no one tries to betray him because everyone's just a hologram.
Well then.
Also, you do get the joy of Infinite beating the shit out of Silver. For those of you who don't like Silver, you get that. Still no Blaze, though, which is stupid in my opinion of, okay, you bring back Silver, who exists in an alternate timeline of events, but you don't bring back Blaze, who exists in another dimension. And is better than Silver. And is pretty much Sonic's equal. And would be a great character to play as.
Wait a minute. Are you seeing, hold on, are you seeing another bit of a problem with that exact same logic?
Yeah.
This classic Sonic came from an alternate dimension?
Well, if this Sonic comes, this classic Sonic can come from alternate dimension, fucking Blaze can show up.
It's one of those. It's like, wait a minute. So, you decided in this game to implement both dimension hopping and time travel, and still forget to bring a character back.
Yep.
Way to go.
I mean, we have Silver and Blaze and Team Chaotix and Omega and Rouge. They're all here. And Tails and Knuckle are here. I don't think Cream's here. Yeah, no, I don't think Cream and Cheese show up in the game.
I'm sure they do at some point.
Probably. But again, no Blaze. Why? Why is Blaze get no love? She at least got to show up in Generations.
Granted, I mean, so did Silver.
Well, Silver had to be a boss, so here he's a punching bag for Infinite, and that's it. Shadow doesn't even get treated that way. Actually, I don't think Shadow and Infinite even fight unless it's in the DLC.
Well, I mean, of course Shadow doesn't get treated that way. All hail Shadow. I mean, duh.
I mean, he gets to bitch slap his hologram copy and be like, Sonic, that was a fucking clone. Why would you think I went bad guy? And Sonic's like, I didn't know. Where the fuck have you been?
That's one of those that it would have been like, do you remember your game?
Do you remember any of your games? I'm sorry, but who wanted to kill Eggman out of the two of us? Because it wasn't me.
I don't know. It just really kind of feels like I hope this game is broken at some point. Because otherwise I don't think it's going to hold up too well. I honestly feel like this might be another one that just kind of gets forgotten.
Probably. And then it'll be dug up like 10 years later and be like, why does everyone not like Sonic 06 when there's worse Sonic games?
Yeah, I mean, like Werehog. I mean,
like Werehog, like the Wii games.
No one remembers the Wii games because hardly anyone played them.
Yeah, but
there's a bit of a difference on that one.
But they are still worse than 06. That is the point here.
Well, I mean, that's mainly because of one thing: motion control. Everything is worse with motion control.
Okay, I gotta tell this kind of weird tangent. I dropped by one of the senior design rooms at the college today, and guess what everyone is using for their manual operation of their walking robots?
What?
Controllers. Like video game console controllers. Two of them are using Xbox controllers. One of them is using a GameCube controller. One is using a PS3 controller, and one is using a Wiimote. I don't believe there's actual motion sensing, like motion sense technology involved in the robot for the Wiimote. But I kind of want,
hope
in
not.
hindsight, someone to do that. Just to try and see if it would work. But I was like, why are there so many video game controllers lying around this room? And it's like, oh, they're all for manual control. And I'm like, that makes sense. But why did someone pick a GameCube controller? Because like PS3, two 360 controllers. Okay. Wiimote? All right, it's cheap and it's not got that many buttons, but you probably don't need that many buttons. All right, fine. GameCube. What?
Well, to be fair, though, a GameCube controller would be the next closest with amounts of buttons.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It looked like they installed their own plug into the bot for this. Like they went through the effort of making it be able to plug in, because the rest of these look like they're wireless.
That is kind of odd.
Granted,
Then.
the rest of them.
That is kind of odd then.
Yeah. Like I must know why GameCube. Yeah. Did you get to play anything else besides not good Sonic Forces?
No.
Oh. Well, all I've really played besides what I got to play at Doc.GU Recode today before we started the podcast was the things I streamed. So played RE4, little bad at it. Couldn't figure out a puzzle until I saw the solution, and it was like, okay, I just do the solution. And it wasn't even the thing I wanted to do to start with, because the whole reason I was trying to solve that puzzle was to get the gun, which I thought was the Red 6. No, it's the Punisher, which is just a slightly upgraded version of your standard pistol. That's not worth it, so I sold it. Because I was thinking it was the Red 6 because the Red 6 is the better gun. It's the better pistol in RE6. And I thought you got it from there. No, that's a shop item. And when I was trying to solve a puzzle is to shoot one of the medallions to get the gun. No, it's not there. It's up and to the left, hanging off the church.
Well then.
What I got in there was a piece to go onto one of the treasures I found to make them worth more. It wasn't even the thing I was trying to do. I spent way too much time hunting those medals, by the way. Because I was completely convinced. It's like, oh, it's the Red 6. This is how I get the Red 6. No. So, yeah. And Beautiful Joe, yes, I was playing on the hard mode. Yes, I looked terrible playing it, but I was playing on the hard mode, so it makes sense. If I stream Beautiful Joe again, it will be at that point, but I'm going to play it on normal mode first. Or it'll be on the normal mode. I'm not going to be playing the entire game on hard mode. Fuck that nonsense. That was way too much trouble. And also, I needed to correct myself from something I said on the stream, because I said on stream that the in joke for Ryder about the first two villains a Ryder meets in their series is a bat and a snake. That's wrong. It's a bat and a spider. My bad. Build is half doing the joke because Night Rouge is the bat and Bloodstark is a snake, but we don't have a spider. But we can possibly infer, well, now we can't anymore because of what Sento said about the hazard levels. So he's technically not the Spider Smash anymore because it doesn't work that way. But that is the joke that Build is doing at the moment. That Double does for Movie War Core for Skull's backstory, because the first two Dopants that Skull deals with are a bat and a spider. And this honestly dates back to the original series, because that was the first two villains the Ichigo dealt with. That's where the whole thing came from, and they've just repeated it ever since. But honestly, aside from that stuff, the mobile stuff, Pokemon Go Halloween event, I have a Banette that's high up, and that's about the only thing I got noteworthy out of the event. Yeah, that's really it. I got nothing. It has been a long couple of weeks that are only going to get longer in the next 5 weeks. Because I have 5 weeks of school left. Which I realized based off a tweet that's like, oh hey, yeah, the write a novel in November month challenge thing. Oh god, I've been sitting on Arc 5 rewrite material for over a year now. The thing is, I've had stuff written down far longer than that. I checked the stuff I have. It dates back to, I believe, May of last year.
Oh, wow.
That is how far back I've thought of an Arc 5 rewrite, is May of last year. The show's been long over, and I still thinking of better ways to do Arc 5. That might be a bad thing. Is that a bad thing?
Nah.
Oh.
I wouldn't count it as a bad thing anyhow.
Yeah. Well, I am super waiting on somebody to do a fan fiction of a very obvious thing that Super Mario Odyssey sets up for fan fiction writers. It gets in the spoiler territory, so I don't know how much I can say.
In terms of because of me, feel free to. I've kind of been on the fence of just kind of paying attention to certain things and then possibly winding up spoiling myself on others.
Well, it's a post-game thing, and it's not like super story relevant. It's more of a little side story thing that goes on in post-game that gets you a set of moons. Spoiler ahoy, spoiler warning for a post-game thing.
I don't think I've got the spoiler alert up right anywhere close, so yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I need to make a new one.
I've still got it. I just don't have it on
Don't know where.
scene, nor do I remember exactly where it is right offhand.
I should make a new one since I have a Kamen Rider Cyclone. And then I can have both Terry and Shotaro be screaming in agony about Philip about to spoil something. But one of the post-game things that happens is you run into a Toad at Peach's castle, and he tells you, "Oh no, Peach is missing!" Except you find out that her and Tiara are going to go on a journey, and you essentially just go through the worlds like as you went through them, and you meet Peach at each of the worlds, and she tells you a little bit about what the two have been up to, and you get a moon.
Oh yeah, I've seen Spike pick up some of the Peach moons.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for someone to take on the duty of, okay, what's the full story of Peach and Tiara's journey, and what kind of hijinks and shenanigans did they get into on their journey? Because, like, okay, if Cappy can possess people, I assume Tiara can as well.
I would assume. If not, that would seem a little strange.
Yeah, and considering Peach even has her own costume changes that change depending on the world she's in, yeah, you could totally write like her own story for this.
You know what I could completely see?
What?
Because I mean, we know Nintendo's been big on DLC. What I could completely see happening here is us having Peach DLC. And
I could see that.
And it being like a post-game DLC concept. Maybe the reason why she has the moons?
Maybe. I don't know. Like, Captain Toad has his own set of moons, and Toadette has like 100+ moons because she's the one that gives you all the achievement moons. Of course, I think those are technically stars, so just from the stockpile somewhere?
Well, how many? Yeah, technically they are stars. I think they still are classified as moons, but
Cappy makes the comment of like, "Oh, these are power moons. They're just shaped like stars here in the Mushroom Kingdom." So apparently they've always been power moons. It's just, hey, there's more things like stars out in the world, and they're called power moons.
I'm kind of wondering though. You know, How many of them does she give you in total?
Uh, it's not 100 something because there are other moons you can pick up in the Mushroom Kingdom, but it's probably a good bit.
Because it would be funny if she could give you like 120. Because
I think you get.
it would be one of those that it'd be like, oh, okay, I see what you did there.
I think there's only 102 in the Mushroom Kingdom total. So,
They missed their shot.
yep. I mean, Game Explain has done the talk of there possibly being some Sunshine DLC where you go back to Isle Delfino.
I could see that
Because
because Nintendo has really enjoyed the scenery for Sunshine.
mm-hmm.
So that wouldn't surprise me if at some point we had Sunshine DLC.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Isle Delfino is on the globe. It's been in some of the marketing material on the map. Like, it's there. And considering how much how much throwback they do to Mario 64, but there are references to Galaxy and Sunshine in here, I wouldn't be surprised that down the line they do a Sunshine-themed DLC that takes you back to Isle Delfino. They do a Galaxy-themed one that maybe takes you to more stuff on the moon or some other planet.
The thing is, though, each of the kingdoms we visit kind of represent most of what uh, you would have ran into in Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
So that one, if they did anything like that, I could maybe see having something kind of more on the smaller side, and maybe be
Mm-hmm.
the maybe either be like some kind of a combination between the Spaceship Mario and the observatory.
Yeah. Because in the Mushroom Kingdom, I believe Captain Toad's ship from the galaxy is parked there. And it's the hat shop.
Hmm.
So once more, this game has a mother freaking ton of references to every Mario game in existence. Every single one of them. If you can name a Mario game, there's probably a reference in Odyssey.
It does seem though, from what I've noticed, that the bulk of the references probably come from 64.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously not all of them, but it does look like the bulk of them do.
Yeah. Well, shall we talk news then? So people can actually listen to the podcast and not be spoiled on Odyssey stuff.
But I mean,
Even though we're moving into some heavy Ultra Sun Ultra Moon spoilers, according to Tom Fox.
hmm.
Okay. How do we explain this one? Yesterday, a brand new trailer for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out. And it talked about what Team Rocket's role in the game is. And apparently they've decided to take a number from Die Shocker from Decade and go, okay, Giovanni's got Rocket. And he did pretty good with just his goons. But what if I brought in the leaders of all the other organizations from all the other mainline games? So the main guy from Team Aqua, Magma, Plasma, Galactic, uh, and Aether Foundation are all a part of Team Rocket's castle of Team Rainbow Rocket. And they have a role in the game that I don't know what is because we don't have any story context for this. All I know is the guy who leads Team Skull has been denied because scrubs, essentially, I guess.
Well, I mean they are, but
Well, what did they accomplish?
um, being beat repeatedly.
At least all of the other organizations accomplished some part of their goals before we stopped them in their respective games.
Well, I mean, they did accomplish something. They accomplished helping the Aether Foundation for a little while there.
So they're essentially good guys. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
But yeah, on top of this, we also got the confirmation that the Ultra Wormholes that you can go into legendaries, you can get all the legendaries. All of them. All of the legendaries that aren't mythic Pokemon, yeah, they're available through these Ultra Wormholes. Some are exclusive to one version or the other, and some of the third Pokemon or thirds of trios require the other two to be present in order to get them. Cerebi has examples of this, like Suicune, you need Raikou and Entei present. Rayquaza, you need Groudon and Kyogre. Curium, you need Reshiram and Zekrom. Landorus, you need Tornadus and Thundurus. And some are exclusive to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I'm not going to list off the whole list, but you can check Cerebi for that one. But yeah, all the legendaries are available in these Ultra Wormholes, which apparently some people were complaining about, from what I heard from my neighbor.
Why?
That's exactly my question. Why? Do some people understand the hassle it is to transfer something from, I don't know, the original Ruby and Sapphire or the original game? Wait, no, you can't even transfer anything from the original games up in generations. It's impossible.
Not from the base original. Now, if you got the re-releases, then yes.
Yeah, if you have the virtual console stuff, that stuff transfers directly to Pokemon Bank. But I'm like, if you have the original cards, it's impossible.
Is it?
Yes. You can only go up to Gold, Silver, Crystal. You can't go further than that. There's nothing designed to pull it up from there. That's why that's probably the crux of the remakes for the original 2 generations, because you couldn't transfer from those generations. But since they came to GBA and DS respectively, they could be transferred up. But yeah, to transfer from Game Boy to 3DS, you've got to transfer from the GBA to one of the Gen 4 titles, like the Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. Then you've got to transfer that to Black and White, to the Black and White games. Then you transfer that using Poke Transport into the Pokemon Bank, which then lets you transfer into XY, Mega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Sun and Moon. That's a lot of transferring. And bear in mind, that whole transfer from GBA to DS, you can only do so many Pokemon unless you do a trick to trick it into thinking that you're trying to do it on a dummy cart than you're doing on the real cart. It's really stupid and complicated, and I got really good at it. So, yeah, I don't mind having easier ability to get Pokemon, especially legendary Pokemon. Because, like, Regigigas required the 3 Regis to get in Platinum. Like, you had to have all 3 Regis on you to get Regigigas. Well, to try to catch Regigigas. Bear in mind, going into these Ultra Wormholes, you're just getting a shot at catching these Pokemon. You still have to catch them like normal. So, you're not just going to be given Mewtwo and stuff. No, you gotta still work for them. But a game that just goes, hey, you can get every legendary between these 2 games. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
I
either.
really don't see a problem with that. On the other hand, though, how do you feel about having totem-sized Pokemon?
Jeez.
Well, you can do it if you collect stickers, and then you can get totem versions of Pokemon. The trailer only showed off the ones that were actually totem Pokemon, so I don't know if it's only the Pokemon that were totem Pokemon or any Pokemon in general. That I don't know. Nothing specifies anything with this information, so
Hmm.
let's see if there be. You've also got the Battle Agency, which allows you to rent any Pokemon, and you can battle 1v1 against any trainer, and you can get gold bottle caps or items such as gold bottle caps. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about which Pokemon you can specifically slap stickers on to make them bigger.
Well then.
Yep. So, with all this new information in mind, how you feeling about Sun Ultra Moon now?
Let's see. Still don't have a new 3DS, so right now still don't really care too much. Like it's one of those. It's good that they're having this other stuff, but at the same time, I'm looking at it as okay, really not gonna help if you don't have a new 3DS.
Yeah.
And there's not that much that forces you to have a new 3DS, so I'm like, at least that interests me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, not really worth me buying another 3DS just to be able to play it.
Mm-hmm. But honestly, the only thing that's pulling me to these are the 3 new Ultra Beasts, just to keep up the collection of all of the Pokemon that I have. But considering until Game Freak puts back out Dionysus for me to pick up, I'll always be at 99.99999% completion. You know, unless somebody can give me a Dionysus out there, internet, help me out here. Could really use a Dionysus. I have a Moltres sitting on the GTS, waiting for someone to give me a not legitimate Dionysus because that's the only way I'm getting it right now. Guys, anyone, please help. Yeah, like that's the only thing that's really pulling me because nothing else is too spectacular. Anything else here, I could just watch anyone stream it and get the same experience.
Yeah,
Like nothing's really making me want to sit down and actually play it. Go back through the Alolan region again.
just to pretty much do what you already know about, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if even the main game had some kind of a change to it, it would be one of those that it'd be like, well, okay, but it's like everything we're seeing's post game.
Yeah, I get that feeling. It's either like post game or like mid to late game. So a lot of the early stuff is going to be fairly similar. Because I could really see this this Rainbow Rocket stuff being late game stuff or post game stuff that replaces the Ultra Beast quest. Especially since you have to battle every single one of the leaders. Because that's confirmed, at least, with this, is that you battle every single one of the leaders. We don't know what Pokemon they have besides Giovanni has a Mewtwo. No armor, sadly, because we can't have that reference. We'll reference the fact that Mewtwo was once, like, up with Giovanni in the show, but we won't give him the armor because we don't want to give you that really cool costume. Even though we gave you Ash Greninja.
Yeah, but I mean that was Ash
Like,
Greninja.
yeah. Like, I'm interested in that at least, but I'll just see where that story goes. And maybe, like, if there's anything new for Lily, considering I like her character, and she's probably the only character I really remember from the games. That might be a bad knock on the Sun and Moon story.
Possibly, yeah.
Well, it probably doesn't help that like Lily has a story arc from beginning to end of game. And she's an almost constant companion of yours throughout the entire game. And also, she gives you an excuse to name a legendary. For those of you who don't name legendaries, like me. Anything else on the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon stuff?
No.
All right. Well, I should have just linked the schedule because we have the schedule for EGDQ 2018 starting next year, January 7th.
And I do want to mention something that I didn't realize. I knew. How much have you watched Spike when he was streaming Crash?
A little bit, not that much.
Did you ever catch any of his races with J Hobbs?
I don't think so.
Well, then this might not be that big of an interest to you, but yeah, apparently J Hobbs is in fact being the show opener for this with Crash 3. I didn't realize that till just here a little bit ago, and it's like, that is actually kind of cool. I would not have figured Crash 3 would have wound up getting the honor of being an opener, but okay.
Well, they've been doing a few different games as the opening one. Hell, we had Splatoon as an opening speed run. So I'd say anything's game, and hell, like they've really changed up the end of Marathon too, because scrolling down to the bottom, Breath of the Wild's ending the show.
And I'm wanting to say this is the first time in quite some years that we do not actually have a Metroid, Super Metroid run.
Yeah, we have no Super Metroid.
Yep.
We cannot donate to Save or Kill the Animals. Oh, shit.
I think this is going to serve as like a little test to see if people will actually donate for other goals this time. Because, that typically is the go-to donation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well,
Yeah,
what goal do I donate to? I don't know. You know what? Let's just do Save or Kill.
Yeah, that usually earns like 40, 50K on its own.
Sometimes more than that.
Yeah.
It's one of those that's one of the donation goals that every time that I have thought about trying to donate, I'm like, if I do donate, I'm not going to be donating for that one because that seems like that's what everyone does.
Yeah, I unfortunately have not donated to a GDQ yet.
So far, same here, but yeah, that should change.
Yeah. Well, just to talk about some of the games we're getting, we're just going to go by day, hit some of the highlights. Crash 3, like you said, with Jay Hobbs starting this off. And then Rixer with Ratchet & Clank New Game Plus. I don't know if that's original Ratchet & Clank or movie Ratchet & Clank. Either way, it will be good because Ratchet & Clank is really good. Splatoon 2, 80%, Infamous First Light, another appearance of Skyrim, Bucket % Ahoy. Oh my god. So all the things you can do in Skyrim to speedrun with a bucket. Just a bucket.
Who's doing the Splatoon 2 80% run?
Tones Balloons.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the guy who did Splatoon 1.
Probably.
Okay. All I know is I have a GIF of them, and they were dancing along to, I forgot what part of the Splatoon 1 run, but it's on the GIF wall. Hollow Knight, which is really good Metroidvania style game. Some Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. F-Zero GX Ukulele showing up with a no flight skip percent. Okay. Blaster Master Zero, Batman the video game, and some Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum will be fun. Just destroy boundaries run. Think no, that's really Arkham City, but I think Arkham Asylum's the same way, where you can just get out of bounds so fucking easily and just skip so much stuff. We got Little Big Planet 2 starting off the Monday blocks or Monday set of stuff. Battle Block Theater, which should be really good. Do Contra 80% co-op, Contra 3, Disney's Aladdin, Wario's Woods, Donkey Kong Country 2 as a race, because Donkey Kong Country is always a fantastic speedrun to watch.
Yeah, it definitely is.
We got our first setup block. We got some Sonic Advance 3, Best Ending, some Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Hero Story, and Sonic Mania, Sonic and Tails. So we get to see what to expect for Sonic Mania. They better not skip Beam Beam Machine, god damn it.
Is there a skip for that?
I don't know. There better not be.
There is one boss that is skippable, but I can't remember which one. And I'm wanting to say it is one of those bosses that's actually only skippable. I'm wanting to say either with Sonic only, or it might be a Sonic and Tails skip.
This better have Mean Bean Machine, or else it's not gonna work for me.
I'm almost
demand my
positive
Mean
that
Machine.
one is not one that can be skipped, unless something has came up that causes it to be able to be skipped that I didn't know about.
Good, because everyone needs a Tetris break in their Sonic speedruns.
God, that can be RNG sometimes.
It will ruin a speedrun, but you know what? It's worth it, in my opinion. Anyway, we got 0, 3, X4, and X for Mega Man block. And then we have Metal Gear Solid 80% Extreme. I assume that's the hardest difficulty. I know European Extreme is the hardest difficulty for Snake Eater. And then Halo 5 Guardians. I think this is the first time Halo 5's shown up. Granted, I think we've only had like 2 and 3. I don't think we've had. Oh, wait, we've had Anniversary. Or at the very least, Combat Evolved. Because Goat Ropes ran Combat Evolved at GDQ. I don't think have we had 4? Because I don't think we've had 4.
I don't think we have.
So this would be the first of the Forerunner stuff. And then we have 007 Agent Under Fire ending off. Why does Burnout Paradise have to be a midnight run? Because I'd watch the fuck out of that. I love Burnout. I would watch a Burnout speedrun. Just because I want to know what dumb things are they able to do to make it 100% in an hour 30. Serious Sam 3, Prince of Persia Warrior Within, to do some Rayman, I assume original Rayman, Gargoyles, Harmony of Dissonance Castlevania, and Symphony of the Night Castlevania. The Symphony of the Night is 0 bosses, and Harmony of Dissonance is maximum all bosses. And then we have Fire Emblem 8 Sacred Stones. Hey, another Fire Emblem game, and it's all going to be menu optimization stuff. Because that is what a Fire Emblem game or Fire Emblem speedrun really is the core of, is menu optimization. It's an Erica versus a Fire Emblem bid war. I think you can choose between the 2 characters for that game. We've got Metro Prime 3 Corruption, 80%. Super Mario 3D World, 18%. Halo Half-Life Opposing Forces, 80% scriptless. Okay. Left 4 Dead 2 main campaigns co-op, Dying Light, which is another zombie game, and RE7. the new Resident Evil is getting speedrun at this next GDQ.
That doesn't surprise me.
And at an hour 50 on the hardest difficulty, I assume. I assume Madhouse is the hardest difficulty. Like, when I read that, I thought it was 6 for a second. And I'm like, wait, they're speedrunning 6? No, they're speedrunning 7. Wait, what? That's even more interesting. Moving into Wednesday, we've got Resident Evil 3 Nemesis and Silent Hill to start off with. Turok 2, for all those people who know what Turok is. I'm one of those people. Disney's Toy Story on the SNES. Kid Icarus is getting a speedrun. Little Nemo the Dream Master. To Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Yes! I love dumb speedruns of Disney stuff I used to watch. Snake Rattle and Roll. 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. TMNT 80% and the Hyperstone Heist 80% hard. And then Battletoads Arcade and regular Battletoads Warpless. Regular old Metroid, any bosses are all bosses Warpless. Superstar Saga's getting ran 80%. I wonder if that's the new version of it or the original. Granted, have you seen anything for the Superstar Saga speedrun?
Nope.
They break that game hard. Like, physically glitch the game out to speedrun it hard. Like, it is that bad is of how they snap that game in half. It is ridiculous what they do to break that game. Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, and Super Mario Sunshine ending off Wednesday. Sunshine is 120 shines, 3 hours 15. Then we have Princess Rescue. Guess what this game is?
Oh, God. Is it some kind of a Mario ROM hack?
Nope, but you're on the right track.
So it is a ROM hack.
No. No. It's a Mario game, but it's not a ROM hack.
What?
This is a demake of Super Mario Brothers for the Atari.
Oh, so it's a Chinese game. Is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. I think this is fan made, but yes, it's essentially something along those lines where they demade Super Mario Brothers to an older console. So that should be fun to watch. Set of Block 3. Let's see, Arabian Nights. Dog's Life. Animorphs is back. Oh my god. I can't wait. Animorphs was really fun to see it just break apart and not be completed. Spider-Man 3, Invasion of the Spider Slayers. Bubsy showing up. Probably better than the game that just came out for him. Which, by the way, is absolute garbage. And is totally just like another game on Steam. Like, literally. Simpsons, Bart vs. Space Mutants, Blues Brothers, Home Alone 2, Deadly Towers, Ultima 6, Legend of the Mystic Ninja, Star Fox 2, 80% Expert. Ooh, I'm curious about that one, because according to John, there are some differences between, like, regular Star Fox, like, incomplete Star Fox 2 and like SNES Star Fox 2 or SNES Classic Star Fox 2 in terms of like difficulty and stuff like that. So I'm curious on that one. We've got Dishonored, all collectibles, Prey 2017, 80%, some Duke Nukem 3D, some Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Setup Block 4, End is Nigh, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Owlboy ending off Thursday. Friday, we have I Want to Run the Marathon, 80%. It's an I want to be the guy style game, so hilarity to be ensued. I'm sure. Splunky HD, all shortcuts plus Olmec solo run. Hyperlife Drifter, Octodad beat the game. That apparently you can beat the game in 8 minutes.
Well then, that would be interesting.
Indeed. Got an Adams Family, all bosses. I believe I've seen Smite run that game, and that game looks bad. Bad in a this is a stupidly difficult game bad way.
Oh, so the good kind of
Jack
bad.
and Dexter. Yep. Jack and Dexter Precursor Legacy, 80%, no LTS. Super Mario Galaxy, 80%. Some Super Monkey Ball, which is always fun to watch. Always fun to watch physics nonsense with Super Monkey Ball. Setup block 5. We got BBS Final Mix HD. It's to be determined, but we have 2 people listed, so maybe a race with one of the 3 characters, probably Aqua. Or it might be a donation incentive, but Aqua's probably the best one of the 3. It's the one I most often see run. We got black and black 2, white 2, 80%. Mega Man 1, 2, 3 team relay race.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Set up block 6 and Ocarina of Time 100% to end off Friday. Saturday, we got Kirby Canvas Curse, Gex 3, Pac-Man World 2. Yay, platformer Pac-Man! Who's ready to see Pac-Man platform? And for those wondering, yes, Pac-Man has had platformer games because
Reasons.
Yep. That's the best way to put it. Some of them are tie-ins to Pac-Man's TV series. Yes, Pac-Man has had TV series. Plural. He's had multiple of them. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, 80% glitchless. Zone of the Enders. The original Legend of Zelda, 100% no up plus A 3-way race. Mass Effect. Ooh, I want to see that Mass Effect speedrun. Just spam through the dialogue. I wonder if it's faster to be Paragon or Renegade, or if it's faster to be a mix. I kind of wish the fastest route is just to be a Renegade asshole to everyone.
It probably is.
Warcraft 3, Diablo 1996, Baldur's Gates 2, Setup Block 7, Bloodborne. Bloodborne will always be a Souls game is always fun to speedrun because you could literally die at any second because it's a Souls game.
True.
So it's very tense to watch. Final Fantasy 4, I believe. That's 4, right?
Ivy.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Final Fantasy 4, Link to the Past, Randomizer, no glitches, open mode race. Super Mario World, no cape, no Star World race. Setup block 8, and then Breath of the Wild, all main quests, no amiibo, into the finale through Sunday. So lots and lots and lots and lots of good stuff. Fun stuff. I can't wait. The good thing is I won't be in school at the time, so I can watch all I could ever want. Yeah, I don't go back until I get out like start of December, and I don't believe I go back till like middle to late January. Middle January 16th. So, any other thoughts on the GDQ schedule?
No.
All right. Let's talk being in depth Tom Nook for realsies because we have information on the Animal Crossing mobile game. From the Animal Crossing Mobile Direct last week, we have Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. It's coming later this month to Apple and iOS. Players are going to be able to start out with a empty campsite and an avatar with gender, hair color, eye color, and skin color. They customize. They'll collect bells and crafting materials to build furniture and amenities to attract visitors. You can visit a beach, a forest, an island, and a river to get items. I think you can take quests from, or you can complete requests from various NPCs to also get other material and stuff.
Hmm.
You can find various fruit and fish and all sorts of other stuff. Quests will give you bells, items, and increase your friendship level with any particular animal. Once you have materials and money, you can head to Cyrus and have things built. Things take time to put together. In the trailer, we saw a ranch couch that needed 6 pieces of cotton and bells, and a swinging bench that needed 6 pieces of wood. You can also head to the marketplace to visit pop-up shops like Abel's Sisters to Go, Nooking Global, and Kicks. They have rotating stock and sell items you might not find at Cyrus's camp. You also visit OK Motors, run by birds named Giovanni, Carlo, and Beeb to customize your camper's appearance. Paying off campers' alterations involves a loan app. Microtransactions are also in the game. You'll have leaf tickets. They can be purchased with real money or earning via completing tasks. They can be used in place of materials when crafting. It can be used to access a throw net, which lets you catch 10 fish at once. Use honey on a tree stump to get bugs. Access Shovel Strike Quarry with minerals. And force Cyrus to build amenities and furniture faster. Which I believe you're getting those from Tom Nook, so once more, you'll be in debt to Tom Nook for real this time, son.
Well, I mean, isn't that the goal of Animal Crossing? To learn how to be in debt to people?
Yep.
So, it's life. I mean,
So what do you think? Are you going to hop into Animal Crossing mode?
probably not.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it either. Granted, I'm not a big Animal Crossing fan, so probably not the game for me.
Same.
Mm-hmm. But it sounds about on par with a lot of other Animal Crossing games, so if you're into Animal Crossing, you might give it a shot. You'll probably hit the paywall eventually, but there's a paywall in every mobile game.
Well, there's a paywall in every Nintendo mobile game.
Yes. But anything else before we move on to a very, very large topic?
No?
All right. This past week, Sony had a press conference at Paris Games Week. And before they got to the conference itself, they had like 30 minutes of talk about and show off a crap ton of stuff. So we have a lot to cover. And some of it is VR stuff. So prepare to just be boo on some of this stuff. We have Guacamelee 2 was revealed, and it's coming soon-ish, literally. For those who don't know, Guacamelee is another Metroidvania-style game with luchadors and other Mexican or Mexico-related stuff. It looks really good, and people really love the first Guacamelee, from what I know. So, Hong Kong Massacre looks like a Hotline Miami-style game, except it's like a Hong Kong action movie and styled like it. Gardens Between is something along the lines of Brothers Tale of Two Sons. I don't think I saw this one. I might have tuned off the stream when this one came up because I did not care for the panel. They were not the most interesting group of people to be talking about video games. And I was just like, I tuned them out after a while. Yeah, this is kind of a Tales of Two Sons. Yeah, I did see this one. It's kind of a Tales of Two Sons kind of game, little mini co-op game. Tennis World Tour. It's tennis. It's realistic simulation tennis. So here's for you, tennis fans.
It's not Mario Tennis.
Yeah, unfortunately. Sims 4 DLC stuff coming November 17th. Or Sims 4 is coming to PS4 November 17th, and we're going to get DLC after that, which was probably going to catch it up to the PC release. Loco Roco 2 Remaster getting a December release date. It's kind of a... I'm trying to remember how to describe Loco Roco. I think it's kind of like a puzzle, like lemming style game, kind of. Megalith was shown off, which is a PlayStation VR game that lets you become a monster god thing. Okay, it was a teaser trailer. It looked all CG. I don't know how you play the game. Because most of it wasn't even attempts to be gameplay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sprint Vector is a VR game where you literally run. That's it. You run. You run in a straight line in a race against other people, I assume. Well, you run out of track. That's maybe not straight, but yeah, it's a running game. So once more, this is VR, folks. We have Moss, which we've seen before. That's the one with the little small rodent guy from back in E3.
I think I remember, but I can't remember right offhand.
Little small rodent with a backpack and a sword.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yep, that one. Boat of Blood. I don't remember this one. Yeah, Boat of Blood. It's a you know that one like ship to ship combat game that all the YouTubers play? Shit, what is it? Guns of Icarus. You know that game?
I think I've heard of it, but I don't think I've actually seen it.
Okay, it's a ship to ship combat game where it's like teams of 4 control this ship and its various parts and like do combat with other groups on other ships. It's essentially that kind of game, except it's VR.
Well, I mean, everything's better in VR, right?
No.
But, I mean, it's VR. Instead of playing the game, you're in the game. So that makes it better, right?
We have Ultra Wings, which reminds me of Pilot Wings from the NES, because it looked kind of like it. It's the same kind of game, kind of like a flight simulator, flight training kind of game, but it's VR, and you get to shoot balloons with guns.
Now, that one actually sounds like it might be pretty decent. If
Yeah.
it's done right.
Yeah.
What would be really kind of cool is with that if you could have like a special controller for it that was like the different dials and stuff, and it was kind of realistic. Because that would actually be very cool, in my opinion.
We have Legend of War VR, which is a little tabletop war simulator. So think like Warhammer 40k, except the video game. Like actually playing Warhammer 40k in video game form. And this is the kind of game you expect. But I think it's like run towards each other kind of game. So something like that. So not super interesting. New trailer for Resident Evil 7's Not a Hero DLC, which I still like what the fuck's going on here because it shows Chris Redfield working for Umbrella. when Umbrella doesn't exist anymore. If this takes place after like RE6. So what the fuck? Like, I would like some context on the story here, guys. I really would. Star Child, which I don't remember. Apparently, it was at E3. It's some sci-fi side-scrolling game. I don't remember this one. Probably helps that the trailer doesn't really remind me of anything we. Sound, which is one of those games where you're playing as someone who's essentially blind, and everything you see is based off sound, and it's a horror game. So make your assumptions as necessary. I like the art style for it, but this isn't the first game that's done this. Hell, I don't think it's the first VR game that's done this. Dead Hungry is this is a VR game where you're running a little trailer bar thing and you're feeding zombies with food so they don't eat you. Yeah, that it sounds super interesting, I know. And Victor, which is a racing game, maybe? I'm from. Oh no, it's a Amplitude style game. So hit the buttons in time with the music kind of game. You know what Guitar Hero was, except a lot more stylish and stuff.
A rhythm game.
Yes, the rhythm game. Splunky 2 was announced. Not much is known outside of, I guess you're playing as the kid, or the kid of the guy from the first game, or the main character from the first game. That's about the most I can garner from the trailer, because the trailer is a teaser essentially. But cool. Yeah, it's gonna launch on PlayStation 4 first, and then on PC. We got our first trailer for episode Ignis for Final Fantasy 15. It comes out December 13th. It looks like something that probably won't get me to go back to 15 because I have to pay for it. And it's probably something that should have been in the game to start with, most likely. But oh well. Because spoilers, this is going to tell you why Ignis is blind for like the second half of the game. Getting into the stuff that was actually announced at the press conference, because mind you, everything I just talked about was before the press conference. All this shit was in the hour before the fucking conference even fucking happened. Starting with the press conference now, we have a Ghost of Tsushima coming from Sucker Punch, the guys behind Infamous and Sly Cooper. It's a very kind of Assassin's Creed kind of looking game from what little gameplay in the trailer we got, except it's in Japan with ninjas. So the Assassin's Creed game we're never going to get. Even though it's fairly obvious that they should do something in this time period. But it looks good enough. Horror, which I don't remember this game. What is this game? As I skim through the trailer. I don't know. some type of fly around dragon game, whatever genre you would call that. It's the same genre Star Fox is in. What is the genre for Star Fox?
I mean, I guess technically it would be a rail shooter.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like you're shooting anything in this game.
Yeah. I don't know.
We've got Concrete Genie, which is coming out next year. A lot of stuff that was announced at Paris Game Week is coming out next year. Granted, this happened in October, so I'm not surprised. Concrete Genie looks like you're spray painting walls, and it's very not Mario Paint, Epic Mickey. And that thought, we're using paint to do stuff to allow you to conquer challenges in the game. Like, it's very much about art, which Epic Mickey was about. So it looks pretty cool. Blood and Truth, which is another VR game where you play as a gangster. Yay! Moving on. It's probably about as interesting as all the other VR stuff. We have Erica. I don't remember this one. Playlink. It's from Playlink. It's an FMV game from looks. Is it an FMV game? I'm going to say yes. Yes, this is an FMV game. Oh, fuck yeah.
Yes, because, I mean, we definitely need one of them.
Yes, this is what I need in my VR catalog. An FMV game. Yes. 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 I can't believe the most excited I've been for a VR game is a goddamn FMV game because FMV. We got our first look at Destiny 2's first DLC, Curse of Osiris, which is bringing new raid content, which I don't think anyone saw coming. Now, bear in mind, we have no context for the new raid content, so we don't know if it's expansions to the Leviathan or a new raid in itself for Curse of Osiris. But new exotics, new missions, new cutscenes, new characters, new, like, a lot of stuff. Like, when we're talking expansion, we are talking expansion. Because we're going to Venus, I believe. Is it Venus? Yeah, we're going to Venus to deal with the Vex coming from the past in the future to kill us all. Because fuck you, Vex have complete control of time. We will use it to beat you. Yeah, it looks pretty good. We got our first tease for the second expansion, which looks to be dealing with Warmind stuff. But it's looking cool. Here's to all the people with Destiny 2 that get to enjoy it. Me not being one of them. Monster Hunter World got shown off a little bit more, and in like normal Monster Hunter fashion, we have a crossover material with Horizon Zero Dawn where you can play as Alloy. And you can turn your little cat buddy into one of the machines from the game. Monster Hunter World's still looking good. So, yay. Onrush looks... I swear this looks like another racing game that was on PlayStation consoles. I just don't remember the name of it, but it looks like it. It's more of an arcadey racing game, so right up my alley. Motorstorm. That's what it is. Thank you, comments. Yeah, that looks cool. World War II is getting DLC timed exclusively on PlayStation 4, coming late January. It's going to be titled The Resistance, and that's it. By the way, have you seen anything for World War II? Tommy,
Yeah.
you there? Yeah, you seen anything for World War II?
No.
Oh, I looked through the whole story. It's better because your main character is actually voiced and has a character and has an arc, but it's kind of a standard World War II story, I feel like. It's nothing really spectacular. Unfortunately, there's something super dumb about World War II. Guess what one of your missions in multiplayer is? You have to watch loot boxes be opened 3 times. Because you can see other people's loot boxes being opened in the hub. That's a thing. And you can see what they get. It's super, super dumb and terrible and the epitome of the worst of loot box stuff. More stuff got shown off for Spider-Man from Insomniac Games, confirming Mary Jane and Aunt May are in the game, and more Morales. And you get to play a part of the game as you play as Mary Jane, as you help Spidey take down a bank robbery in progress that the two of them are caught in the middle of, from the looks of it. But it's still looking really good. I'm really excited for it. Detroit Become Human showed off more stuff from Quantic Dream that I don't give a shit about because the past 2 games they've made have been bad, so I don't care. New Data War trailer showed off Kratos whooping ass. Shadow of the Colossus was looking pretty good, and Last of Us Part 2 had a very violent teaser that had nothing to do with the characters from Last of Us, so I have no idea the context for it. So yeah, that is everything from Paris Games Week. Okay. Anything you want to talk about? Mention anything? Since I barreled through all that. Still with me? Tommy?
What?
You still with me?
Yep.
Anything you want to specifically talk about or mention anything about out of this big list of stuff that I just barreled through?
Nah.
I mean, a lot of this stuff we knew. There was a couple of cool announcements, but that was pre-show stuff outside of Ghost of Tsushima, but that needs more gameplay to really make a good judgment call on. Otherwise, it's a lot of stuff we've already seen. So, some cool stuff, but nothing spectacular. So, we're just going to move on to, as soon as the link loads, a small little story of, you remember when I was telling you about Disney Infinity inspired figures?
Yeah.
I figured I'd bring that up on the show because, some people might be wondering what when I said that. I think when we were doing Super Mario Sunshine.
I think that was when.
Yeah, apparently we're getting a toy line called Star Wars Toy Box. And right now you have Kylo Ren and Rey that you can pick up at Disney Online and physical stores starting today. And they very much look like they've been pulled out of Disney Infinity. Like, very hard. So I thought Disney Infinity was dead. Hell, Lego Dimensions is super dead. So does this mean Disney Infinity is kind of getting rolled into a separate toy line, maybe. I'm not sure on this. What do you think? This feels a bit too coincidental. No thoughts, Tommy?
But my bad.
Uh, fall asleep.
Kind of more dozed.
Okay. I was seeing what you thought of our Star Wars toy box. Totally not Disney Infinity figures.
I almost feel like they screwed up. They stopped Infinity before they released these, and they're like, uh-oh.
I could see that, especially since, we have a new Star Wars movie coming out. We should put out some more Star Wars merchandise. How about we put in the stuff from this failed toy line and just put it in a different brand and hope no one notices the similarities?
Or the fact that, the base probably is just the only thing that's not there anymore.
Yep. And they're posable. They look posable.
I doubt.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
posable.
they are?
Yeah, that Ray. It looks like Ray's got joints and her elbows at least. And yeah, there's a cut for a shoulder joint there. So they're at least somewhat posable. So they're not just statues. They're probably like super basic 3 3/4 figures. So something cheap. But that's it. And now, oh god. I need 1 second. I need water for this. I have water for this.
Sounded like you unzipped your mic while you were at it.
Yeah, because I put it down on the tote that said next to me.
Well, the good news is I do think I know a few of the titles you'll be mentioning, because there's some of them that I've actually got my eye on for the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot coming out in the next 2 weeks. Oh boy. So, starting off on the 7th of November, we have America's Greatest Game Show, Wheel of Fortune in Jeopardy for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Assault Android Cactus for Xbox One, Hand of Fate 2 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Hitman Game of the Year Edition for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Jeopardy for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Minecraft includes an Explorer Pack for Xbox One, Need for Speed Payback Deluxe Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Outcast Second Contact for Xbox One, Sonic Forces for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC, Super Lucky Sale for Xbox One, the Elder Scrolls Online Clock.
By the way.
Yeah, I did. Yep, I did. So, the Clockwork City for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Wheel of Fortune for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, the Xbox One X for Xbox One, ATV Drift and Tricks for PlayStation 4, Blue Reflection for PlayStation 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, the Frozen Wilds DLC for PlayStation 4, League of War VR Arena for PlayStation 4, Singing Kagura Estival Versus for PlayStation 4, Farming Simulator Nintendo Switch Edition for Switch, Heroes of the Monkey Tavern for Switch, Killing Floor Incursion for PC, and Nihon Complete Edition for PC.
I do have one question.
What?
Who was smart enough to figure out how to play the Xbox One X on the Xbox One?
Someone very, very, very smart. And I had to do the joke. I don't even know if the podcast where that joke started still exists.
I think it does, but I don't remember which one it was right off hand.
To let everyone else in that doesn't know, back when I didn't get the releases from GameFAQs and got them from a different site, they listed as a console on a different console.
I can't.
I think it was. I want to say it was the. It wasn't the Wii U, was it? Was it the Wii U?
I feel like it wasn't, but it was. It maybe it was.
It was like the Wii U on Xbox, and it's like what?
I thought it was still the same manufacturer. It was just like new one on an old one.
Probably.
Whoops.
I just
I
did that for all
probably don't
time's
need to
sakes.
do what I was doing there while I'm in that window. That was force of habit.
What? Try to look it
Yeah,
up.
because I'm almost positive we were using this site when we were doing that. I'm sure I could find it.
No, I was reading it off the website itself, so it wouldn't be documented. Continued iterations of the joke would be on the archived on the website, but when I did that, I was reading it off the website. I remember that. Or off that site's list. So it wouldn't be in any of our release databases. Or forum popes in this case.
I was gonna say, you say databases like we're actually organized.
Yeah. Well, starting on the 8th, we only have 911 Operator on Xbox One, but on the 9th, we have Siberia 3, an automation with a plan for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Ace of Sifu for PlayStation 4, Matilda Astilla EX Castilla for Vita. Someone desperately wanted a rhyme there. And Talomir for the Switch. On the 10th, we have Need for Speed Payback for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Whoopo for Xbox One. Cat Quest for the Switch. Doom for the Switch. Snipper Clippers. Cut It Out Together for Switch. Mario Party The Top 100 for 3DS. Minecraft New Nintendo 3DS Edition for 3DS. And The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs for PC. Okay. Now comes the fun one. And I doubled the LA Noire one. Oh well. There's had to be another instance of LA Noire on here, so it's okay. So, on the 14th, we've got Ben 10 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. BioShock 10th Anniversary Edition, Ultimate Collector's Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. BioShock the Collection 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Cities Skylines Snowfall for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. The Blob for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Farming Simulator 2017 Platinum Edition for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. LA Noire for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. In Switch, even though it's listed down later. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, Xbox One for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Professional Farmer 2017 Gold Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Realms of Arcania Blades of Destiny for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Road Rage for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Star Wars Battlefront 2 Elite Trooper Deluxe Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. The Sims 4 Deluxe Party Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Trove Adventures for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Cat Quest for PlayStation 4. Demon Gaze 2 for PlayStation 4 and Vita. Outcast Second Contact. Contact for PlayStation 4 and PC. Transport Giant for PlayStation 4. Tokyo Tattoo Girls for Vita and PC. Batman the Telltale series for Switch. Little Drew 2 Plus for Switch. Lumo for Switch, Pinball FX3 for Switch, Rhyme for Switch, Rocket League for Switch, ATV Drift and Tricks for PC, LA Noire, the VR case files for PC, and finally, Fidget Spinner in Space for PC. And yes, I broke the whole in alphabetical order thing just to say Fidget Spinner in Space last. I cannot not say that last. It's such a stupid dumb title. On the 16th, we have Ash's Cricket for Xbox One and Visual Novel Maker for PC, so you too can make your own visual novel. Because that's a thing now. On the 17th, we've got Star Wars Battlefront 2 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and PC, The Sims 4 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Sims 4 Bundle, City Living, Vampires, and Vintage Glamour stuff for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, SGZH Zombie Girl, Zombie Hunter, or Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter, bleh, PlayStation 4, The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim VR for PlayStation 4, Battle Rap Simulator Early Access for PC, Rive Ultimate Edition for Switch, The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim for Switch, even though it's not listed there, V6 for Switch, and Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon for 3DS. Oh boy. And I think I didn't even include hardly any PC releases. Oh god, this list would be so goddamn long if I did. Like, Jesus Christ, there were so many PC releases. So many. Too many. Ugh. So, with that out of the way, we get the quick draws, and I barely have one to talk about. It's mostly just an excuse to do build talk at the end of the podcast. That's really it. Because, hey, Foundation X is back for Hazy Generations Final, and I don't have a thing that actually confirms that because that was just the thing confirmed on Twitter. And I don't feel like diving back through Twitter for like 2 weeks to try to find the tweet that confirmed it. But yeah, how are you feeling about build so far?
I think it's definitely got potential.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is how it takes that potential and progresses with it is going to be the thing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this week continues the whole, okay, we have laid the foundation for you to question who Sento is. So, like, are you going to catch on to what we're putting out here? Or are you going to get fooled and fall into the red herring that may or may not exist?
That kind of does exist.
Yeah.
Because didn't the preview kind of tell us, hey, you know, that person that we all thought was dead, yeah, he's alive.
Yeah.
And you know, at first, when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. So, that don't make any sense. But then I got to thinking, well, wait a minute. What if this is meant to be like that?
Mm-hmm.
And what if there has to be a reason why Sento can use 2 bottles?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the only one that we've seen capable of doing that.
Yeah.
So perhaps our dead scientist is quote unquote alive.
Mm-hmm. I talked about this on Twitter. I had a long stream of consciousness on Twitter, as I do when I decide to post on Twitter, that I'm starting to think that the doctor's been set up. He's not the Doctor of Death.
What else gave you that idea?
Okay. All right. Look at this. We're told that the doctor made the ultimate taboo of human experimentation, right?
Uh-huh.
Who was the one that reported him on that?
Uh-huh.
Who's the guy who's currently running Faust?
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. So you're telling me that the guy who did the thing that you guys are doing, you reported him on. Why?
And you know,
And also,
okay, we kind of already know not to trust him.
hmm
And we now know what data was kind of being kept away.
yeah.
So I've actually got a couple of questions here. The first one is, how did the belt wind up with Sento?
Chief stole it. We
We
know
we
Chief
can
stole it when.
we can think that, but has it actually fully said that?
Yeah, Chief said he stole it when he rescued his daughter. When he rescued his daughter, he stole the belt in several little bottles.
Okay. So then we know that much anyhow.
Yeah. We know the belt existed before Sento, or before Chief found Sento.
And with the information from the drive, we know that it actually existed long before that.
Yeah. Our quote unquote doctor of death was the one who made it. Which once more throws us the question of, okay, he's the one who invented build, but build does not require the human exposure to nebula gas that Faust does to the Smash monsters. So I'm starting to think you're full of shit. He's your fall guy to throw everybody off. Because I feel like everything the villains have said is meant to throw them on the path. Because they want Sento to build something. Right?
That's what is assumed. I
Right.
I wonder if, in all seriousness, if Stark is actually wanting him to build it to help them. Because he keeps seeming to get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those, it's like, okay, part of me feels like if we get the reveal that Sento doesn't have some kind of something crossed with that, with our dead scientist, that more than likely Stark is him. Like, I could see that being an alternative. But my thing is it maybe something that Stark is trying to stay on that side to gather information, and he's actually wanting the truth to kind of come out? Or is it a case of
Mm-hmm.
Stark is literally just playing by his own rules and seeing what happens and who he should side with?
I think a lot of that comes down to who is Stark. Because once more, we don't know who Stark is.
Yeah.
We know who Night Rouge is. And they weren't really trying to hide who Night Rouge is. But we don't know who Stark is. Some people think it's Chief. And I think it's weird if it's Chief, because it's like, okay, why would it be Chief? Like, what part of, like, why would Chief be Stark? What does he gain from being Stark?
Granted, I could actually see that. It could be something where that's kind of an agreement. Because, I mean, let's be honest, they're not hiding, they're kind of sitting in plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sento's working for the enemy, essentially. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be nothing for them to follow him and wind up taking them all.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps it's one of those kind of peace treaty deals where he helps, but he's still his own person. It
Maybe.
does seem a little strange, but I mean, seeing who has the power and who doesn't right now, it's like, I might could understand that, and that could be the
Mhm.
reason why he is trying to get in the way and make sure they've got the upper hand, so to say.
Mhm. But yeah, in my stream of consciousness on Twitter, I think I might have stumbled upon one of the main themes of the show and its truth, because like, how much do our characters know of the truth? And because it seems like our villains know everything, and they're slowly but surely just manipulating things so they get what they want just by manipulating what the truth is. Because I feel like we're supposed to be like, oh no, the Doctor of Death is this bad guy. Except when you look at it and go, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Not in like a plot hole kind of way, more of a, what you're telling me and what I'm seeing do not add up.
Yeah.
So either we're not seeing the whole picture or you're lying. And I feel like our villains are purposely lying to everyone in the show. Also, like, almost every single member of our main cast has amnesia of some sort. Because, like, Sento doesn't remember anything of who he is. Chief doesn't remember anything from him being an astronaut and picking up Pandora's box. Ryuga didn't remember a lot about him being captured by Faust. And Chief's daughter actually doesn't have any memory loss. Now that I think about it.
But because of the use of her power, she kind of wasn't really awake to know enough either.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, she kind of falls into that too.
Yeah. Meanwhile, all of our bad guys have zero memory loss and know everything. Hell, we've had a good guy gone bad guy, maybe, with a reporter lady who might have been a mole the entire time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Which kind of leads me
I'll,
to what I was saying about Chief possibly being Stark. I could maybe see that.
mhm.
And if so, that would actually kind of make sense why Stark is being able to get away with some of this.
Mhm.
Because you look, it kind of would make sense to let them go ahead and have the information if it was still being kept watch over.
Yeah.
And he said something that seemed really interesting to me, and it was about he knew that Sento was capable of making what they needed. And it's like, wait a minute. You have to be someone that at least knows him in order to
Mhm.
have been able to come to that conclusion. So it's one of those that it's like that line was there for a reason.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
the entire time he has been gauging Ryuga in terms of the his levels. So I could completely see that part of his statement being just from what he's seen.
mhm.
But how does he know that Sento has the knowledge to build what they're needing?
Yeah, that does seem odd. But one thing that got brought up with Hasty Generations Final is you know how I've told you that at the end of True Ending, Build takes the essence of Xaid from or takes the essence of Xaid and cancels his ability to transform.
Yeah.
Apparently, Sento doesn't remember doing that. Like, he doesn't remember any of his appearances in the Xaid material. But, because I know you're thinking that doesn't make sense, but did Build really act like Sento in those instances? Because someone pointed out that it's very possible that it wasn't Sento being billed at the moment. It was the doctor. And considering this episode showed off that, like, yeah, he's the one who came up with Build to start with, it's very possible he did, and he was the one who was billed in both of his appearances in the X8 material. Because I feel like something like that isn't just going to be thrown out there because, oh, Sento has amnesia. Of course he doesn't remember this. It's like, no, this might be playing into the larger story of Build.
It could be too. How many times have we had, and Build even follows the suit, more than one person be able to use the driver?
Fives did it a lot. Like in the Neo Heisei era, not really, but it's not like that. It can't happen, especially with how we know the Build driver works now.
So I'm kind of wondering. Okay, and two. Okay, we think that's how the Build driver works.
Yes.
It's still very possible that there's something unique with the Build driver.
Mm-hmm.
So that could also play into the whole line of, yeah, Dr. Guy is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Dr. Guy is now part of Sento, then that still means he would be able to use the driver.
Yep.
Which would in fact give us the two different, I guess you could say, variants of Build.
Yeah. That'd be one way of saying it. Like, I feel like that being mentioned when it comes to this movie, that is obviously tied into true ending, that is obviously like making sure that all the continuity lines up, like that's not being throw in there like just to kind of like create a mystery. No, it's thrown in there because we have this question. We're now questioning who is Sento, and was he Build to start with? Was he the first Build, or is he Build 2 or 3 at this rate, or who knows? Although there's still another interesting thing about Heisei Generations when it comes to Ryuga. I think he gets to be the first secondary writer that is going to debut before the Winter Crossover film. Like, he's going to be more than just a cameo in the movie. Because he's debuting, I believe, after this next episode, after the Dragon Lock form episode. He's debuting that next episode, which means he's going to be up and around before Generations Final starts. And I believe I've seen one photo of all of our main writers with Ryuga in his dragon form. And I've seen a photo of Sento and Ryuga henching together. I don't know if that's from the movie or from the show.
Huh.
But this is a first for these team-up films that the secondary writer gets to be more than just a cameo in the movie or an early bird cameo in the movie. Okay, I can't say that because X8 kind of broke that. Yeah, X8 kind of got to break that, but it had introduced like multiple writers off the bat.
True.
And so did Gaim. Okay, for a smaller writer cast show, this is a first. The bigger writer cast of Gaim in no, Gaiman gets God damn it, no what? Fine. X8 gets to be the rarer ones, not the only one, but it gets to be one of the rarer ones that has the secondary writer be actually a part of the damn plot of the movie. Ugh. Which makes me wonder what's gonna be the early bird cameo now. Because the other times this has happened, it was Shin Zengetsu in the Genesis writers, Paradox with Perfect Puzzle, Necrom, and I think that's it. So, what do you think out of the stuff we know that's coming next year? What do you think is going to get the early bird cameo in the movie?
I mean, if you look, what was a common theme between the three of them?
Tertiary writers.
That were villains to begin with.
Yeah. It's probably going to be Night Rouge then. His proper writer form.
Yeah,
then.
that's what I'm kind of feeling.
They'll probably do like with the Gaim Wizard movie and tease the second belt. Which is weird to think about because Ryuga is going to just get his belt driver before this movie. And some point after the movie, he's going to be swapping to the other driver. So much for having that build for that dragon form for long. Yeah. Build is good for now. Kind of can't wait for the another ending stuff for X8 and see how all that goes. Because I assume it's all going to build off of whatever happens at the end of Heisei Generation's final for X8. Because apparently X8's not the only one like negated in his transformation. All like the main four are all negated in their transformation. The only one who's not is Dan. Because of course he's not.
Oh god.
Oh, and because of his shtick, Onari kind of actually believes him to be a god. Because of course.
Oh god. That is just perfect.
Yep. Somehow Dan is the only one that avoids being fucking drained of his ability to transform. So, of course, he's the only one that gets to be a writer for part of the movie. And he gets to be a complete asshole about it.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm curious on how they're working in Foundation X. Because all we know is Foundation X is back. We know they're connected to the like they have their own version of the goons from Build. But like do they tie into the villain? Because the villain doesn't have any connections to Foundation X as far as we know. And I forgot who the villain was. He's the guy he's the one in possession of the X8 essence in the movie. He's the one who steals it and kind of sets off everyone to like start meeting together.
So he's the one that forces Kota's hand to come back to Earth.
Yeah, it probably also doesn't help that we have a multi-dimensional crashing together plot going on. Because I guess Build and X8 are in different dimensions, and it's possible that the other shows are in different dimensions too.
Even though there's not really been any true reference to that.
Like, I understand the Build one because of the whole Pandora's box, Skywall stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
considering the timeline of that's not gonna work.
But I mean, let's be completely honest here. If you actually lay out the beginning timelines of any of the shows, they don't usually line up with the show before them.
Yeah.
Like, typically, there's some kind of an overlap that cannot be explained in either show.
Yeah.
So, to that, I say, I don't understand why we're calling this out now. It's kind of been a thing for a while.
It is. I'm trying to find the character's name. Kaisei Mogami is planning to destroy humanity. He's got a half like robotic blue mask he wears.
Well, I'm glad to know he's not going to get Most Creative Villain Award.
Yep. He has the Nebula steam gun and the gear Rumicon from the toy scans. He turns into a monster named Kaiser.
Hmm. Of course,
He's being played by.
of course,
Go ahead.
it's gonna kind of be hard for him to destroy humanity without dimension hopping, though.
Mm-hmm. He's being played by Kenshi Oshika, which is his first movie appearance in 11 years. He sang the Ryukendo songs. So that's a odd little tokusatsu connection. Also, this movie is supposed to answer the question of how Ankh came back, which is fairly obvious if you look at the grand scheme of things. And the solving of the situation for Gintaro's Forza driver around this time, because you know, in not Haste Generations, Ultimatum, you know, there's the time travel plot in Ultimatum, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, when Gintaro had to go back in time to participate in the final third of the movie, he had to borrow his present self's Forza driver because he destroyed his Forza driver to help the reboot Inazuman like be a hero. So I think we're a year away from where that should be when that should be happening, but like Gentaro might not like. We need to solve the solution of Gentaro with a Forza driver like soon-ish, and that possibly might be solved in this movie where Sento just goes, here's a new Forza driver. I literally just built it based off everything you gave me.
Hmm.
That's the suggestion I've seen, and it was the one that makes sense. And for the Ankh one, in movie Tyson Megamax, Kogami Foundation creates their own core metals and their own driver for them. I would not be surprised if Ankh is like remade because his core metal is broken with his consciousness in it. It's broken at the end of 4 O's. But in Megamax, we see that he's back at some point in the future. And considering Kogami Foundation makes their own metals, I assume that his metal got fixed at some point in their research. And also, O's got his own set of purple core metals that don't take him over, because that's probably a part of their research too. Like, it's one of the simplest solutions in the world. I don't know why they're building it up when it makes It's so obvious how they do it. Like, you could literally watch Megamax and know exactly how Unk comes back. Like, you don't even need to watch anything else. You just watch Megamax and just go, oh, that's how Unk comes back. Just looking at, like, where Kokomi Foundation is now and where they are in the future that Aqua comes from, that, like, Unk hitched a ride from to, like, come back in time and help. But yeah, I'm hopeful for Foundation X showing back up. It'd be cool if they get, like, something nice, considering the last time we got them was the Brave special for X-Aid, and before then was a possible reference to them in Gaim in the Baron Gaiden film. And before then, definitively was the Forze movie. Or not the... Was it the Forze? Yes, it was the Forze... Was it the Forze solo film? No. No, it was... Smack. No, it is the Forze solo film. I think. It's either the Forze solo film or it's the director's cut for Megamax. Because there's a scene with the principal talking to Foundation X members for use of their Astro Switches. And it might be Megamax I'm thinking of, because they get the Astro Switches that the Double has to deal with, while O's and Forze go, like, be the main plot of the movie. But, like, something similar happens in the Forze solo film, because they get copies of all of the Zodiarts, like the main Zodiarts Astro Switches, and, like, Forze and Meteor have to beat all of them. Which Wizard comes and helps with, because that's his early bird cameo. Which happens, like, halfway through the film, because the rest of it takes place on the moon. But yeah, anything else about Build?
No.
Well, also, Climax Fighters confirmed, at least the secondary riders from Double onward are showing up in the game. So Axel, Birth, Meteor, Beast, Baron, Mach, and Mach, Spectre, and Brave are in the game. No word yet on anyone else, but I assume the roster will expand from there. I would expect that, considering all of the reuse of animations and stuff from the Battle Ride War games, we'll probably get about the same roster in Climax Fighters. Yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for the show tonight. You can check us out in 2 weeks for whatever else may come. I assume we'll be talking a lot about Sonic Forces. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I can't wait for that to come out. Is it bad that I kind of hope maybe it's a garbage fire? I hope it's not, but it might end up being one.
I hope if it is, it's because it's broken like 06. Because if it's broke like 06 and it has story issues, people are going to overlook the story issues.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I know personally though, in light of the demo, and even if I exclude the timer on it, I just don't know. It's not won me over, and that's part of the reason why I'm really disappointed with the timer. Because I feel like demos should be the developer's way of saying, play our game. And this kind of feels like, we don't think our game's good enough, you can only play a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of making me worry, especially after all of the crappy 3D Sonic games we've had that look good and sound good. It's like, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking I had to get this dumb app so I can be in contact with my RA. Because I live in a dorm on campus. For a mandatory floor meeting, which is probably just checkout procedures that I've heard like 12 times already.
Well, now you'll get to hear the 13th.
Hell, there's a letter with the checkout procedures that get sent back home. And I get an email with them. I've lived here for a while. I know what the procedure is.
Yeah, but you might have forgot.
Look, me and my parents, we have me moving in and out down to a science at this point.
Yeah, but see, now they're trying to add math to it, so that's where the problems are coming in.
Yep.
But
yeah, that. I hopefully will have more progress on .hack GU, and maybe if we played some other stuff, it streamed other stuff besides that. Because I don't know if I'm going to stream that when I get back Sunday or just wait another day to do it. I know I want to pick back up Resident Evil 4 like next Tuesday, but I don't know what I'm doing next Thursday because I want to play Beautiful Joe on my own to get it up to where we are on, or where the stream is on normal. So .hack GU may get the Thursday slot. Unfortunately, RPG, so I might have to start a little earlier to actually make progress. I put in, I think, 2 hours, and I am not out of the opening area.
oh,
Or opening, like, tutorial part, so...
oh, ow.
Yeah, I'm still kind of story locked. So, granted, I think .hack is more kind of like on-rails RPG. It's not really open. Like, there's ways to, like, grind and stuff, but you kind of, like, bounce from one story thing to the next, like, really quickly. Of course, this is a game that is emulating an MMORPG because it's a game within a game. If that doesn't sound confusing at all.
Yeah, it could be worse.
I will say, it does emulate an MMORPG pretty well. Although, I would not try to dive into the dense backstory of the game within a game. Like, not .hack, no, the world that is the MMORPG that you are playing as the player in the game within a game. Because apparently there's a dense story there. Or, like, just backstory in there. And I'm like, oh, God, no. When I have 12 million new things to read off the bat, that's all about the thing that is not the main plot. I don't know if I want to read all that. That's all window dressing stuff. Yeah, I know. I want to be back home for the weekend to be with the family, to go watch Thor Ragnarok, and have a good time. Apparently, it's getting mixed reviews, but I think all the Thor movies get mixed reviews. Hell, apparently Spider-Man Homecoming got mixed reviews, and I thought it was fairly good. But yeah, it's getting some yay, some like but like not bad. I guess it just depends, but anyway, we're gonna end it here before I spend another half hour talking about stuff.
and things.
because I need that. Yeah, because I need to go to sleep because I have to drive home tomorrow. So I have OSW to keep me company. So yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks, folks.